Hi, my name is Jennifer Zenuch. I'm an industrial hygienist, and I'm opposed to the warehouses for a number of reasons, but most of all, the increase in air pollution and health ramifications from a large increase of diesel trucks. So the paperwork on these warehouses show that we're looking at an estimate of an increase in 600 to 900 trucks based on the scope that was presented. That's about a truck an hour. And diesel trucks emit a lot of toxic pollution. Like the EPA has shown that there's over 40 different toxins in diesel exhaust. And diesel trucks emit 24 times more toxic exhaust than just like normal vehicles. This is a big concern for me because as these trucks are coming in, they're not only coming in and we have the exhaust coming from them driving, we also have the exhaust from them idling, which is known at warehouses like the Texas Transportation Institution. They estimate that a normal truck at an industrial warehouse like this idles roughly about 51 to 55 minutes. So you're looking at a truck coming in every hour, idling for 1 hour to 2 hours. Some estimates even say up to 2 hours as this truck loads, unloads. And this whole time, these trucks are emitting toxic exhaust. Diesel exhaust, some of the biggest things are, it's called ultrafine particulates. These are particulates that are lower than 2.5 microns or smaller. And the problem with ultrafine particulates is they are so small that the human body doesn't know what to do with it. It bypasses the lung system. It gets into the bloodstream. And because it's so small, they also tend to carry toxins, kind of a rider on with these particulates. And, it'll attach benzene, some all known carcinogens will attach on these particulates and get further into the bloodstream. There's studies after studies that are starting to be done on what we call this particulate. It's called PM 2.5. And they are just now finding that how damaging this is. It's especially damaging to children because children have a higher respiratory rate, and they tend to play outside more than adults do. So, as children are playing, they're exercising, they're breathing a lot quicker and heavier. And so these particulates are entering their lungs and causing a lot more damage. Several studies recently have shown that children living near large distribution centers have a decrease in lung capacity, like a 4 to 6% decrease in lung capacity, and a much higher incident of emergency room visits for asthma and bronchitis. This also affects adults as well as children, and studies have shown that cancer rates have gone up around large distribution centers, especially lung cancer. Lung cancer has roughly, they're seeing an 8% increase in lung cancer incidence, 4% increase in all cancers in adults living near distribution centers. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has determined that diesel exhaust is a carcinogen. It causes lung cancer. Another concern is the location of these warehouses. They are directly south of the high school, and the way Texas prevailing winds come from the south 80 to 90% of the year. And so we have winds taking this exhaust and just bombarding our kids in our high school with these pollutants. And, diesel exhaust is heavy. It's heavier than air. The high school is at a lower elevation than these warehouses too. So we're creating a bowl effect and just, again, bombarding our kids with these carcinogens, with these air pollutants. And, these things may not manifest 2 years from now, 4 years from now, but the latency period on a lot of these cancers is 20 to 30 years. And so these homeowners and these kids may not feel the effects immediately, but 10 to 20 years down the line, we may be seeing some cancers pop up, and that's concerning. The California Air Resource Board actually did a really extensive study recently, because that's in California, there's really started putting these large distribution and warehouses there with the advent of e-commerce. But they found that with a slight increase in diesel exhaust or air pollutants, there was a significant increase in cancers. And extrapolating there, as I did so many per million, but I extrapolated that with the number of population in our immediate neighborhood. And we're looking at a possible 4 to 72 cases, additional cases of cancer in our immediate neighborhood from possible diesel exhaust. Even a 2010 study showed that source proximity really impacts how this air pollution is concentrated. Obviously the farther you get away from the source, the more it's going to dissipate and the less it's going to be impactful. But it showed even up to 3,000 meters away from the source that they were finding impacts on especially like elemental carbon and PM 2.5, or this fine particulate. And just to put that in perspective, the new elementary is right at 1,000 meters. So they're going to feel impacts way farther out than just the high school. So this is going to impact our community, not just a small bubble.